Let's bring John Hanna in. He's the former National Security Advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney. What do you make of this, John? I mean, as Benjamin rightly says, we don't know for certain whether it's true, but it wouldn't necessarily be the first time if it is. It's crazy stuff, but what do you make of it?
Yeah, no, these rumors about purges and executions of the negotiating team have been swirling around for months, Connell. They increasingly seem likely to have occurred, but we do need to confirm them because we've had instances in the past where we've had these kinds of reports, and lo and behold, months and even years later, these officials that we thought had been killed off show up alive and well. I would say in the first instance, if this is true, it is, again, a very useful reminder, if anybody needed it, just about the murderous nature of the North Korean regime. This isn't your average run-of-the-mill dictatorship. The Kim family, a crime syndicate, is really in a class by itself, and one of the most dangerous jobs in the world is being a high-level North Korean official.
So as President Trump's language, and even in recent days around Kim Jong-un in North Korea, has it been too friendly in your estimation, the way he's handled this?
Yeah, I think almost certainly it has been, but let's face it, if these reports are true, Kim has wiped out his entire negotiating team. It may not matter what President Trump is saying. There's literally no one in North Korea at home for U.S. diplomats to talk to. Instead, what we've seen since the collapse at Hanoi is they've reverted to this old playbook of issuing extreme threats, insults, and, of course, starting to test those ballistic missiles again.
So we're back to square one, or, you know, even past that somewhere, right?
Yeah, no, I've got a real fear that it's hard not to see this as potentially a fatal setback for the negotiations.
So what do you do? You know, what's the Benjamin says that they may meet. You know, Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, President Trump will talk in Japan at the G20, and in addition to trade, I'm sure they will discuss this. But what are the options?
Yeah, I don't think any of the options are good. I think the U.S. does need to remain very steady with all this turmoil happening on the other side in North Korea. We've got to leave out the prospect of still wanting to move forward with a productive negotiation on denuclearization and sanctions relief. In the meantime, keep up the pressure on that regime.
But what would be the point of talking to the guy again? I mean, is there a point if you're President Trump?
Well, I think the point is, obviously, in the first instance, you want to avoid a blow-up in Northeast Asia, war on the peninsula, and, you know, a North Korea that is continuing to perfect long-range missiles capable of holding the entire North American homeland in jeopardy of a nuclear strike. So that's well worth trying to keep open the prospect for negotiation, but we've got to keep pressure. We've got to keep our allies in South Korea and Japan strong, and then rally the rest of the world to send the same message to the North, that your only path forward is through negotiation, not escalation.
Right. Now, I should emphasize, well, John already did, that we don't know for sure whether this is true. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said, you know, they're going to look into it, and, you know, we'll see. But it came from a South Korean newspaper, I believe, at first. So, boy, but if it is, what a story. John Hanna, good to see you as always. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Connell.